this is the Jorginho dilemma, right? Or the Kovacic dilemma. Because he hasn't had a standout performance, he's just average. Like, the thing is, I feel you guys, I don't know if this is a social media thing or maybe we're just one of the few smart people in this fan base, but like, I feel like when we're watching certain players, we have different expectations for those players to watch. But I also feel like there's a good portion of the fan base that only see attack and defense. And so when you see a midfielder, most times they're thinking attacking stats, so goal and assist. And if Lavia doesn't get a goal and assist, he must be shit.
True.
He's got the boring job of being a 6. So all he has to do for the most part is maintain possession, don't lose the ball, keep it pushing, and go on. And that's the problem Jorginho had. It wasn't even a problem. That's the problem the fans had with Jorginho. Jorginho, I love Jorginho. I still do. I respect the shit out of what he did for Chelsea. One of the things he did was he kept possession and he kept the ball going. Just kept passing. Don't lose the ball. That's what Lavia does. Doesn't pass as much, but he'll progress the ball forward up the pitch and he won't lose it, and he'll give a short pass to Enzo. Sometimes he'll get the line breaking pass and all that, but he's not an entertaining, unless you're watching, which me personally, I've started to learn as I've gotten older. I just have much more of an appreciation for the defensive side of the game than the offensive side of the game, which, call me Unk, I don't care. But like, bruh, I just like watching defenders do their thing. I think it's a very underrated role.
All right, granddad.
He
All right,
said,
granddad.
my man said, as a young kid, I enjoyed the wingers. Then I wisdom and I appreciated the CDM. I hear it, bro. That's some real shit,
bro. But I just like what, like,
it's like, no, hold up. It's like that Busquets quote, bro. You feel me? Like when you're watching him, you know. that's what Marshall just pulled out on us, bro. The words of wisdom.
I'm just saying, bro. Like, I appreciate. There was moments where I was watching Lavia and I was like, "Yo, the fact that you got out of that 3v1,
no, I know, I love
is
Lavia.
Crazy." But people see that and they're like, "Where's the goal? Where's the pass?" You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not the most entertaining position. So like, there's not going to be very many standout performances. Because like 9 times out of 10, what happens is those players will regain the ball and then they'll cause a counterattack, but you'll be more focused on the goal and the pass to the goal than what initially started that play. You'll forget that play. Am I wrong?
No, not entirely. I think like Lavia's been good. Like, he's had a couple of games where he's not been great. Yesterday was not one of them. Like, to be honest, the only game I can remember, like, maybe this is just me having a not great memory.
That's really good. That's what you want from him.
It's no, this isn't the only thing he offers. Defensively, he's very good. In possession, he's very good.
Yeah, only thing is such a reductive take. I'm not gonna lie.
What was I saying? Yeah, the only game I can remember that he's had that was very bad was the Tottenham game, where he got subbed off at half time.
Which game?
The Tottenham game, where he came off. Didn't he come off at half time?
Yes, I thought he came out.
Yeah, that's the only game I can remember where he wasn't great.
There was a game where he conceded that goal as well.
Yeah, outside of that, that's the only game I can remember where it's like where he was actually bad. Like, outside of that, I don't remember having he might have had a couple average games, but I remember him being really bad. But he's had some very good games for us, and I just don't understand this hate for him. Like, what annoys me is that, like, he gets spoken about. The way he gets spoken about in terms of the way he plays is what I said earlier in terms of like the Asugo thing with Caicedo. Like, the way Asugo played yesterday, in my opinion, in terms of just looking a bit raw, not really ready for the system, is how Lavia gets spoken about. But Lavia is much better than that.
Bro, is Asugo just going to be like catching strays all season?
No, it wasn't even a stray, but it's like, bro, like, he's 20. And it's like, he's not, you can tell, like, it's like we said earlier, he's just maybe not completely ready. He just needs more game time and whatnot. But people speak of, like, some of the people I've seen in our fan base speak about Caicedo and Lavia like they are that. Like, they are nothing but shin kickers and nothing else.
Yes. You know,
Yeah,
that
I don't-
disappoints me because, like, all right, whatever. I expect the Caicedo shin kickers from the rival. I don't care. But when our own fame, it's like, what does Caicedo offer other than being a shin kicker? I'm like, all right, man.
That's
Some
crazy.
people just don't deserve.
When
to
our
watch
own
the
fan
sport,
base
bro.
does that, that's crazy.
No, I've seen
Yeah, I
it.
don't know,
I've literally
like-
seen it.
Even for me, like again, for me, Jorginho wasn't anything super sensational, right? Like, we all kind of knew he had the ability to get like line breaking passes and be creative, but he never really made the most of that. Maybe because of the system, because of that. Overall, he was like, for most people, I'm sure a very boring footballer to watch. But what I appreciated about him was what you're saying, Axe, is that press resistance. Like, bro, as a midfielder, like, I feel like there's certain traits that you have to have, like either all of them or one of them, whatever. Passing ability is one of them. Ability to progress a ball forward, and the ability to maintain the ball, keep possession. Like, if you keep possession as a midfielder, bro, that's a reason you're a midfielder. Like, if you're like, let's say you're learning how to play football and you're trying to find your best position, and a coach sees like, yo, this guy can keep possession, like he doesn't lose the ball, bro, I'm probably putting you in midfield because you don't lose the ball. I need to control the midfield. I need to control the game. I'm gonna put you in midfield and then keep the ball ticking, keep it simple passes. I like Lavia for that reason. He's very press resistant. Like, he don't lose the ball, and if you don't lose the ball, that means we're keeping possession. That's very
Not
pivotal
everyone-
to possession.
Oh, wait,
Also, when people,
not-
also, by the way,
Can I
hold up,
just-
just to say this: when people say speak on Lavia, like Liverpool fans aren't saying they would still take Lavia. Like, United fans aren't saying they would still take Lavia. Is crazy to me.
Mhm.
Like,
What were you guys gonna say?
Yeah. I was just gonna say, like, this idea of him only being press resistant.
I don't think he's that though, but I would say
No,
even that trait
but
itself
even,
is
but
great.
Marshall, even if he was, people underestimate how key of a skill being press resistant is. Like,
Mhm. That's what I'm
look at
saying.
what, like, in terms of playing against teams that press you, like that ability to always play on the half turn and within a movement take two players, which I've seen him do multiple times, two players out of the game for a turn. Cool, that's two less players you now have to deal with that you've just beaten the press. So teams that press you either can't press you with the same intensity or have to or are going to end up with players out of position because this guy can beat the press. Look at, for example, like what Kovacic used to do in terms of he was so
I
press
appreciate
resistant.
the
He get
fuck
past
out of
players.
Kovacic.
Even Jorginho as well was really press resistant, like especially that 2021 year.
Bro, UCL
Um,
Jorginho,
It's
you
unreal.
couldn't get the ball
And
off him. He
it
was
just
ridiculous.
all it does is create space for everyone else. Like,
Yep.
so yeah,
Yeah.
this like even if he was just press resistant, which is nonsense, but even if he was just press resistant, no one else in the entire squad has the press resistance of Lavia. No one.
Mhm.
No, Caicedo doesn't, and
This
I
is
love
true.
Caicedo. Enzo
Yeah,
doesn't,
This is true.
and like Enzo's a great player. He does not have that same press resistance. Santos doesn't. Esugo doesn't. No one in midfield. Palmer doesn't.
What-
Actually, no. Palmer when he's on it does, but current Palmer is not.
Mm-hmm. What I will say though on Lavia, just to not make this a complete glaze sesh, right? Like, I do think the player is really great, and I'm happy with what I'm seeing with the price. What I'm not happy about is obviously the injuries. We don't need to discuss that.
That's not his fault.
Potch and stuff like that. Yeah, I get that. The one thing I will say in terms of criticism towards Lavia is you know your press resistance. You can get yourself out of these 3v1, 2v1 situations, or if you have a player on your back, you can twist them and turn them, and you have all the space, right? What I want to see more from Lavia is those Enzo passes. Not as good as Enzo, but those threaded balls through the midfields that we know he can do, that he just doesn't do enough of, whether it be because of instruction or maybe it's a confidence thing, or I don't know. But that's a trait that I know he's capable of doing that I don't see enough, that disappoints me, because I know that's like a really, really good skill to add to his arsenal. And I think he knows that too. I mean, I don't know if you guys agree with that, but I think he can definitely give us more line breaking passes like he used to. We've seen him do it. I mean, in preseason and all that. I think even towards the end of last season he did.
I just
too.
think
I
for me,
I think it's
people
more
are
time
trying
Kane
to
get it, bro.
people are just trying to, you know, people want people to play like they're like Pirlo, not understanding that Pirlo is a one-on-one guy, bro. You're not gonna get DMs that can do everything every single time. I think the other problem is also like we live in a universe because of like Rodri having that kind of like a bit of a clutch gene and being able to score. Like people are now like expecting their DMs to score, the DMs to assist, the DMs to hold the play, control the play, do every single thing. That is not that might work in one system.
Rodri's not an entertaining player to watch, but
that's not consistently something that happens consistently. A good example I can use, Sergio Busquets, for example. Sergio Busquets was good at making tackles and just making the passes whenever that needed to happen. Just passing the guy that was next to him, helping the team,
My guy
helping
just
the
kept it
team.
ticking, bro. I hear it.
That's it. You don't need. I think sometimes, bro, we overdo something, right? Like we overdo stuff, bro. We try to make everything. Try to make the guy that's gonna do everything, like make everything happen. Does that make sense, Marshall? Like we want them to do every single thing. It's not. That's not always possible, bro. It's not always possible. People have certain skill sets. Let us utilize those certain skill sets. Let's not try to
that's
like
what building a team is about, right?
Yes.
Yeah. No, and I get it. Like I just know that the player has the ability, because that's the one thing that it's not a coincidence that when Lavia came back into the team, our form improved, and that's just because of how important of a player he is. But at the same time, in that same notion, it's not a coincidence that when Lavia and Caicedo are in the midfield and Enzo's not, we do lack that creative spark, which I don't want to have to always have Enzo on the pitch to have it. Mostly because I also do know Enzo can be a defensive liability. Go ahead, Scott.
Do you know what I think that is? And I think you saw, like, I don't know if we noticed it as much. I don't remember, to be completely honest. Like, my memory's not amazing, but you saw it in that LAFC game. The reason why we lost creativity wasn't just because, like, not necessarily because Enzo wasn't playing, it was the positioning. Like, you had Caicedo and Lavia literally on the same, like if you were to put lines on the pitch, they were on the same line the whole game. Neither one of them pushed up. So that was the issue. It wasn't the fact of, like, because I know RSM will probably agree with this. I think Caicedo could 100% do the job that Enzo does. Maybe not in terms of the long passes and whatnot, but in terms of the box crashing, in terms of, like,
low key, like, no, I think the one thing Caicedo can't do is the box crashing, but he could do the long passes that Enzo can. He does it for Ecuador all the time. He's the one who's,
I was gonna say, like,
who's dictating play. He can do everything but
when he came into
do everything but box crash.
So the season before we bought him, so like when he was playing for Brighton, that's what he was doing. Like, there were times I think he was playing with Bissouma, I think at times, and he was the one that was further up the pitch, and Bissouma was the one like the defensive midfielder in that pairing. And like RSM said, for Ecuador, he's the one that pushes up because it's Mendes. I don't know if Mendes still plays, but when I watched him in the World Cup, it was Mendes that was doing the DM stuff, and Caicedo was the one pushing up. So Caicedo can do that, but for some reason, this is where I think it's more of a system and a Maresca issue of, like, he just had both of them like sitting next to each other. Like, if Lavia's in the team, give Caicedo freedom to go forward, or give Lavia freedom to go forward. Give one of them the freedom to go forward and get into that space Enzo gets. I think that's the issue, rather than that, he's not as creative as Enzo.
Yeah, I really hope as the season goes on, like, these players, I don't want to say the players improve. I feel like that's not the right vocabulary. I think I want to see these players express themselves a little more as the season goes on. I do feel like
next season, I would hope to see, obviously not 1-to-1, but kind of what happened with PSG, right? Like, one of the things that you see Vitinha say, right? Like, first season, we didn't even really, like, we were very rigid. But then once we understood the position of everybody in the team, we just swap whenever, and as the game dictates, and we're able to do that. So hopefully, we're able to see a bit more of that.